that time of year again. We're ready to go. I think probably for our team, I think what's important for me, I guess we get right to it. We're excited, as always. This time of year for basketball people is a fun time of year when you know, we get to start truly practicing and building our teams. And so I'm excited too for our team this year. I think our team this year, when I look at our team, I think probably the one word that maybe, or the one thought I have would be that we're a team that's got a lot of question marks. And we've got a lot of players, obviously, that need to take a major step forward. And if you look at our team last year, I think it's important to note that you know, both Ralston and Trevor, two guys that aren't here this year, did a lot for our team. They took the majority of the shots. They made the majority of the big shots, key shots, and those two guys became very reliable offensively, very dependable, and scored a lot of points for our team. So, you know, I think those guys accounted for, you know, over 40% of our scoring. You know, I think I looked that up today. I think we made 236 threes last year as a team. Those two guys made 172 of the 236. So that tells me we're very unproven behind the three-point line. And we're going to have to figure out offensively how we're going to generate some offense with the fact that we lost those two guys. When you throw in Kyle Washington into the group, that becomes 3 of our top 4 scorers from a year ago. So having said that, we got a lot of guys that I know they're very anxious for their opportunity. It's their chance to step forward, and they're going to get it. They're going to get their opportunity to step in there and play. So on the inside, I think with BJ, Malik and Leonard, I think those guys combined, the 3 of them together, averaged 11 points a game. And we've got to get a lot more out of that group this year. A lot more than 11 points a game from those 3 guys. So we're the team, I think, that right now we've got a lot of question marks. We've got a lot of guys that we've got a lot of holes to fill. We've got young guys that have to step forward in a major way. And hopefully we can put it all together. I think at the beginning of the year, you know, if I was kind of predicting our league out, or kind of, you know, looking at our league, I could see where we could be picked 9th or 10th or 11th in the league with what we've lost. But for us, it's not about how we start, it's about how we finish. What's important is how we come together as a team, and if we can learn a lot about each other and ourselves, and who needs to do what roles guys need to have, hopefully we can become a really good basketball team. So, you know, we just, we're a team that's got a lot of question marks. You know, I was told this morning I wouldn't wear this one. You look through the ACC career, the active players in all the career categories, career lists, every category there is, I don't have a player on any of them. I looked and saw where Marcus Page has started 105 games in his college career. The most we have is Cat with 51 starts, and so it kind of tells you where we are from that perspective. So we've got a lot of anxious guys, eager guys, willing guys. They're competitive, but now is their opportunity now for those guys to step forward. And so, having said all that, it's going to be an exciting year. I think we've put together another schedule that hopefully by the end of the year will be one of the tougher schedules in the country. We try to do it every year. There's no magic formula. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky. But I think last year we ended the season with our strength of schedule being 6th toughest in the country. And some of that obviously depends on how well teams do and what their records end up being for the RPI. But we think we put together a pretty tough schedule, and for our guys, pretty challenging schedule with some really competitive teams. And then obviously once you get to the league, I think this year our league could be a league that truly gets 8 to 10 teams into the NCAA tournament. I think that's realistic for our league this year. I don't think that we're a 6-bid league. We'll have to see how we play this year. But when you look at all that's coming back in our league, I think our league is going to begin to become the league we all thought it was, where we're a dominant league around the country. So that's exciting too. And our league schedule is very difficult, maybe one of the most difficult in the conference. So anyway, that time of year, time to roll the balls out and go play. So we're ready. Let's open up for some questions.
JC here.
You mentioned the three-point shooters that you've lost. You've also gained some. How good are they, and have any of them lobbied to run the corner play?
We're probably going to run the play. I can promise you that. If we got somebody who can make it. I think that we have good shooters. They just haven't done it yet. And that's the whole thing. I mean, we're going to find out if Terry Henderson can make threes on a consistent basis. I think Cat's going to be a better three-point shooter. He certainly did throughout the summer and all our workout. If Caleb can become a better, more consistent three-point shooter. I think Caleb was a guy last year that could make some, but his percentages weren't great, so he's got to be better. We signed a couple guys that we think can make some as well. Maverick Rowan's one of those guys that I think is as good a perimeter shooter as maybe there was in the country last year as far as high school players go, but again, he hasn't done it yet at our level, and it's a little bit different to do it in here. A little bit different to do it when the popcorn's popping and people are in the gym. So we got to figure that one out, and we'll see who can do it.
I feel like you simply threw that popcorn's popping.
Just for you.
Maverick, obviously, it's unusual to come in the timing that we did. How was his transition been, what you've seen from the kid? I think he's a little bit more than a shooter, too.
Yeah. Maverick, he's going to be an exciting player, and we're really happy that he's here. We're so used to nowadays where players always get here in, 1st of July, and we have them for that couple months of summer school to get academically acclimated, and then we can get in the gym nowadays and work with them. And, he's a player that wasn't, able to do that. And so on one hand, we now look at him and say, well, he might be a little bit behind just because of that. But I think once, he got here, he settled in, learned what we were doing a little bit. He is behind maybe just a hair, but I do think that once we start practicing and we've got enough time right now to kind of get him caught up, I think that he's got a chance to be a really good player here. And, some of that you just never know how freshmen, how they really adapt and how quickly they kind of come into their own. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some players, but I think he's got great tools. He's a very good scorer, good shooter. Got a little chip on his shoulder, a little edge to him. I like that about him. Very confident. I also like with Maverick the fact that, I've always said this in recruiting, what stands out to me when I recruit guys is if their high school teams win. And his team in Pennsylvania as a sophomore won a state championship. He moved to Fort Lauderdale and took a team that had never won a state championship in the history of their school and won the state championship there. So for me, that tells me something about him. So we're excited to kind of get him into the flow of things with everybody else. He's got good size too, Joe. I think he's a good 6'7". I don't know that he's 6'8", but he's a good sized young guy. He's learning every day. He's getting better in the weight room. So we're excited about seeing where Maverick can get to and how he can help us this year.
Mark, Terry.
Yep.
Terry comes from West Virginia, and you saw those guys up close and the way they defend. Does he bring any of that mentality from West Virginia and the way he plays on that end of the floor?
Yeah, well, number one, I think with Terry, a lot of thoughts come to my mind, but he has been well coached. There's no question about that. Bobby did a great job. Bobby Huggins, obviously, at West Virginia with him. And he walks in, as he did last year, even as a redshirt player, and you can tell right away. He has been well schooled on a lot of things, especially defensively, probably more than anything. What I like about Terry with our team is he just seems to do a lot of things well. He's not one-dimensional in any regard. And if you go down the line and say, I think he's an above-average rebounder for a perimeter player. He's an above-average passer. He's an above-average defender. You can just keep going down the line. So he's really good at a lot of things. And so I look for him to have a really good year. You know, we need him to. He does have some college experience playing at West Virginia. He's played in tough games. He's played in tough environments. And I'm excited for him to get started here at NC State. You know, he's that guy. Some of you guys know more than others. You know, I messed it up. It's my fault. Screwed it up in high school, and I liked him in high school. I wanted to recruit him in high school, and we botched it up and didn't do a very good job. And I tried to come back in there late, but I liked him from day one. And so when he decided to transfer and get here, I was really, really thrilled, because I've liked him for a long time as far as basketball goes.
BJ